take an already built room like this one and mount a flat cranky on one wall as a kind of moving mural. And we know these things existed from various documentation of them, but very few of them still exist. And I think the ones that still exist are like in museum basements and whatnot. They're kind of hard to come by. You'll have better luck finding the round panoramic rooms in real life still. But yeah, the original, like those original crankies were all oil on canvas, just like all of the original sort of two-dimensional art in our culture is all oil on canvas. Which is a little bit more rigorous than the paper we're using today, or can withstand more rigor rather. And but you can make crankies out of anything, and that's sort of the next part I want to talk about, right? So let's go ahead and start making our crankies. We have our tea boxes. We have a little setup here for you to make mini crankies. We have some tape, which you'll probably need. And it's going to be fairly self-explanatory. Ultimately, you're going to want to punch with the scissors or with a pencil. whatever works, huh?
Yeah. It's just box skewer?
Yeah, it's just box skewer too, yeah. So I'll put some of these here. You can use whatever you want. But ultimately, you're going to want to sort of figure out which side of your tea box you think is going to be the sturdiest, which side you want up. Like for example, if you have one with a tab, you might not want a dowel going through that tab because it won't be very structural. So I might put that on the bottom, or I might put it on the side. You know, you might want to explore your tea box, get to know your tea box.
Do you see the cranky being inside the box?
Mm-hmm. Yes, so we're going to talk about that. So ultimately, what you will do is you will be punching 2 holes, I guess 4 holes, in fact, to get the dowel all the way through, and then you'll be cutting a window of some kind in the tea box, and in that way you'll be able to crank your scroll through. And we actually, courtesy of Rob and other folks who organized here at Catapult, we even have little LED lights that you can mount inside to backlight your mini cranky. So these are going to be the most extravagant mini crankies anyone has ever seen. So yeah, you can sort of start to work on that.
So how far from the edge, our hole should be as close to the edge as, not as possible, but...
So your scroll is going to end up being a little bit thicker than that dowel is. So I would go in half an inch, 3/4 of an inch.
And in fact, what you can even do, and I'm not sure if Kelsey's crankies don't include this feature, but if you care to, oftentimes, it'd be cool if we had a whiteboard in here.
Actually, this one has the little runner dowels.
Oh yeah, you just don't have it hooked up. So we can show them. So oftentimes cranky boxes will have the scrolls like fairly inset, and then it'll have runner dowels further out to the edge of the screen, and you'll wrap that dowel around those runner scrolls, and you'll see better in my example. But that helps keep the sort of screen, if you will, to the edges.
Yes.
And it gives a little bit of tension to your cranky as well, which is always good. And, you know.
But we shouldn't poke it in the center. It should be closer to the face.
I mean, again, it all depends on whether you want those runner dowels. The important thing is if you want runner dowels, you want those close to the edge and close to the face.
Yeah.
In fact,
It doesn't matter what.
It doesn't matter where that one goes, exactly. So you can make some marks. We have Sharpies here, and we have scissors and all sorts of good stuff. There you go. And yeah, so you guys can sort of start working on that. You can always tape it back together when you're set with that. Rulers for those who...
Yeah.
It happens.
Thank you.
I feel
For
that.
those who are contra dancers.
I'm like in between. I tend to use like a finger measurement. I'm like, okay, good enough.
You just hold your pencil like this and run down the side of the box.
Yeah, we have a wood turner in the house, so he can help you out with some more
I see.
engineering components.
She rocked.
Cool. And yeah, so ultimately you'll be turning your little tea box into your own mini cranky theater.
It looks a little bit like
And we need one.
Kelsey! Oh, is that a matchbox?
I wonder what was in that mason jar.
Oh, can't even, that's so cute. Right, so it'll look more or less like that. And the paper we're using is simple receipt paper. So you'll be able to replicate that if you ever decide to make another Cranky to go into your theater.